Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Ryan Elliott and I am a local realtor here in St. John's metro area. Today we are going to be talking about Conception Bay South, or CBS as we all call it. CBS has grown into one of the most popular places in Newfoundland. A lot of families and newcomers ask me about it, so in this video I'll give you the full guide, what it's like to live here, what the housing market looks like, the lifestyle, the costs, and some pros and cons you should definitely think about before actually making the move. So first, let's talk about where CBS is. Conception Bay South sits just outside of St. John's, about 20-30 minute drive into the city depending on traffic. With over 27,000 people, it's actually the second largest municipality in Newfoundland after St. John's itself. Now, what's interesting about CBS is that it's really made up of a bunch of smaller communities that have kind of grown together. Places like Kelligrews, Long Pond, Seal Cove, Fox Trap, and Manuels. Each has its own character, its own history, but today they function as one large town. Why do people move here? Well, the big reasons are space, ocean views, newer homes, and lower property taxes compared to St. John's or Mount Pearl. It's quieter, it's more family oriented, but still close enough that you can get into the city when you need to. Now let's talk about housing. Most of what you'll find in CBS are single family homes, detached houses with bigger lots that you'd usually find in St. John's or Mount Pearl. You'll see lots of split entries, bungalows, and a ton of newer subdivisions that have popped up as the town has grown. One of the big selling points is oceanfront property. I mean, that's what we all want. CBS has some of the best ocean views in the metro area. Waterfront homes and homes with views will cost a tad bit more, of course, but for many people it's worth it. In terms of affordability, CBS homes are usually less expensive than similar homes in St. John's, especially when you compare the size of the lots. For renters, the options are a little more limited. Most of the housing stock here is owner occupied, but you will find basement apartments, some duplexes, and the occasional newer rental building. Lifestyle is one of CBS's biggest draws. This is a very, and I mean very, family-friendly town. Lots of young families are moving here for the schools, the sports programs, and the community atmosphere. If you're into the outdoors, CBS will give you direct access to Conception Bay. People here are boating, they're kayaking, or fishing in the summer. There's also the CBS Trailway, which is an old rail bed that's now a walking and biking trail running the length of the town. It's perfect for walking the dog, going for a jog, or even snowshoeing in the winter. The town has invested a lot in recreational facilities like the CBS Arena, swimming pools, and new sports fields. Plus, there are plenty of community events and festivals throughout the year. Overall, life in CBS feels quieter and more laid back than living right in St. John's. Streets are calmer, lots are bigger, and there's more space. People often say it has a close-knit, small-town vibe, even though it's one of the largest communities in the province. Now, how does the cost of living stack up? Well, the big savings come from property taxes. CBS taxes are lower than in St. John's, and that can make a big difference for families buying their first home. Utilities are similar anywhere else in the province. Heating is your biggest expense in the winter. If you're buying an older home with oil heat, you'll want to budget for a higher bill. Newer homes with electric heat or mini split heat pumps are much more efficient. When it comes to groceries and shopping, CBS has its own grocery stores, its pharmacies, and smaller shops, so you don't need to go into the city every day. But for bigger shopping trips like Costco, and you want to visit a mall or a major box store, most people still have to drive into Mount Pearl or St. John's. Let's talk about jobs and commuting. There are jobs within CBS, local businesses, schools, healthcare, and service jobs, but most people do commute. St. John's, Mount Pearl, and Paradise are where a lot of the major employers are. The reality is that traffic can get busy. During rush hour, the CBS highway slows down and your 20-minute drive can turn into 35 or 40 minutes. If you're commuting daily into St. John's, it's something to think about. That said, if you work from home, CBS can be perfect. You get all the benefits of a quieter lifestyle, bigger lots without worrying about the daily drive. CBS has been growing quickly and so have its services. You'll find healthcare clinics and family doctors in town, but like the rest of Newfoundland, wait times can be long. For major hospital care, you'll still go into the St. John's Hub. On the education side, there are multiple schools across CBS with both English and French immersion options, which is great for families with school-age kids. Alright, so let's quickly break down the pros and cons of living in CBS. Pros: bigger homes and lots for those prices. Beautiful ocean views and outdoor lifestyle. Lower property tax than St. John's, Mount Pearl, and Paradise. Strong family and community value. Cons: longer commute into St. John's or Mount Pearl. Fewer shopping and dining options locally. Limited rental options if you're not buying. You'll definitely need a car as public transit isn't really an option. So that's the full guide to living in Conception Bay South. It's a fast growing town with a lot to offer, especially if you want space, community, and a quieter pace of life while still being close to the city. If you're thinking about moving to CBS or anywhere in St. John's Metro, I'd love to help you find the right home. My contact info is in the description just below. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more guides on living in Newfoundland, and drop your questions in the comments. I answer every one of them.